Magneto is one of the most versatile heroes in Marvel Rivals, and even after balance changes, he remains firmly top tier. No matter the situation, whether it's an enemy ultimate, a dive, punishing out of position enemies, Magneto pretty much always has an answer in some way. So in this guide, I want to break down how to utilize his kit, we'll cover key combos, what to look for in both enemy comp and ally comps, and how you can build a game plan around the information that you have. He's a 650 health vanguard with a deceptively simple kit. Magneto can adapt to almost any team comp or playstyle. So let's start with the foundation, the Iron Volley, his primary attack. It's really your main tool. He fires a single magnetic orb in a straight line. Each shot is a projectile that travels 80 meters a second and can fly up to 25 meters before it explodes. When it does explode, it creates a damaging spell field, and the size of that spell field explosion changes depending on how far the orb traveled. So if the orb hits something early, like a wall or an enemy, think up close, you're just dueling another tank in front of you. On impact, it creates a small explosion with a 1 meter radius. But if it goes the full 25 meters, if it carries the distance, it explodes at the end of 25 meters with a much larger spell field with a 3 meter radius. And that's great for controlling space at a distance, it's great for hitting multiple enemies, and a lot happens with this 25 meter shot. It means that you can look past the front line into the back line and hit enemy supports with grouped damage. It's got that 3 meter radius, so you can chip everything that's there, dealing damage to multiple targets. It's also good for low health enemies around corners. Like this Moon Knight, he gets behind cover, I'm the right distance, 25 meters away, it explodes at the end, so that spell field reaches around the corner, getting the down. Pretty cool. And also versus flyers, there's a ton of flyers. It is a slow firing projectile, but it has this 3 meter spell field that gives you some room to be off of your target. You can still deal damage to them or even down them from the air. So it's a great attack. Each orb deals 40 damage on impact. After that, the explosion itself can deal up to 40 more damage in the center of the field. So in total, 80 potential damage if you hit them direct on. 40 from the impact, 40 from the explosion. The damage from the spell field does drop off though. Enemies standing outside the edge of the field take half the damage, so only 20 damage instead of 40. Magneto gets 10 charges for the Iron Volley. Each shot has an attack interval of 0.8 seconds, so a little under a second between each one. The primary attack is simple, but with what it does, up close, it's a reliable poke and burst. At long range, it becomes a little area denial. The spell field explosions can hit multiple grouped enemies. It can force them to move even. I think it's one of the most flexible primaries in the game. If you manage your range right, your spacing right, you're going to have the damage on the front line, but you can also have high value shots on their midline and backline. And with your shots, I do recommend that you tap each shot. You can't hold the primary down, he'll go one after the other, just spam them, but since it travels at 80 meters a second, it's pretty slow. You need to be very deliberate with each shot. So shoot each one individually for more value. Mag Cannon is Magneto's secondary ability. It's your right click on controller's top left bumper. It's tied to the iron rings floating on Magneto's back. He can hold up to 3 charges, so 3 iron rings, and you're going to know when you're fully charged when the meter turns purple in the center of your screen. Each ring charges passively over time, taking 3 seconds per ring, so 9 seconds total to max them out. Once you activate Mag Cannon, Magneto launches a fast-paced moving projectile forward. It travels 120 meters a second, much faster than his primary that only moves 80, and the damage depends on how many rings you've stored up. 1 ring is 40 damage, 2 rings is 65, full charge 3 rings is 90 damage, plus a 6 meter knockback. There's no cooldown, but you can only fire the Mag Cannon if you have at least 1 ring charged. And you generate them passively and also by blocking damage, just staying engaged in the fight. We'll talk about the bubbles here in a moment. Just like the primary, it can't critically hit, there's no headshots, they don't matter, so this is all about raw burst damage and utility. And at full charge, it has both. It's great for finishing off low health targets, it can push dives off of you or your supports, it can interrupt pressure from enemy tanks, it knocks back, it hits hard, it lets you control the pace of fight and spacing. But here's the key. The Mag Cannon cancels your primary when fired. So no matter where you are in the Iron Volley primary animation, it gets cut off right when you shoot this, it overrides whatever stage of the animation your primary was in. So this means you get a little creative with how you combo it. Your core burst combo is simple and is deadly. It's left click, left click. So primary, Mag Cannon, primary. It's 80 damage, 90, and then 80 for 250. That's enough to delete squishies, which is really good for a tank. And you can time this a couple different ways. One way is just a staggered burst. You would fire your primary shots, and anytime you want, in the middle of that primary attack, once it's gone out, throw the Mag Cannon, and that's going to follow it right up, and then you go back to your primary shots. But there's also a quick burst combo. You can actually press the primary and Mag Cannon buttons at the same time, and if you're a little shaky about it at the same time, just do it back to back as fast as you can. Left click, right click. And this allows the primary to come out first, and then right after is the Mag Cannon. But it's a rapid boom, boom, boom. Primary, Mag Cannon, primary. And this can catch enemies off guard and get downs before they can react. And with how you want to use Mag Cannon, it depends on what you're trying to do. It depends on the situation. It does have dive denial. It can knock back the diving enemies, Wolverine, Captain America, Black Panther, Spider-Man, get them off of their line so that can protect you or your allies. It can be frontline burst if a Vanguard, Thor, Cap, Hulk, if they get low, you can start throwing in this charge to try to get them down. It does have zoning. It can threaten squishies trying to peek from range. And that's pretty much my favorite. Like when a DPS or support tries to close the gap, they're within 25 meters. You can use the mag cannon to burst them down, push them away. So for me, that's been the ideal flow. You're going to be using your Iron Volley, which is your primary, to pressure the front line. You're just using it all the time. You're hitting the tanks, anything that gets close. You're controlling space. You also have your other abilities, building up rings. We'll get into those. But as you're throwing out your primaries, when a squishy steps into range at 25 meters and in, that could be a DPS, that could be a support, 250 health, even 275. That's who you're looking to hit the mag cannon on. Burst them down. But also, if a dive tries to come in, you can try to knock them away. If a tank is weak, you can try to finish them. It's versatile, it's reactive. It gives them very respectable damage. Again, I usually just primary the front line, but I'm searching behind them in the midline and back line to use this mag cannon combo on. It's great. Next up are the Bulwark abilities, the bubbles, and I have them grouped together because they share a cooldown and they function the same. Iron Bulwark is your self shield. It's your F key on controller to B or circle. Metal Bulwark is your ally shield. It's your E on controller top right bumper. Both abilities create a protective bubble that absorbs damage. Both share the same 12-second cooldown. So once you use one, whether on yourself or a teammate, both go on cooldown. You only get one bubble every 12 seconds, so let's break it down. The Iron Bulwark, you get a 300 health point shield. It lasts for 2.5 seconds, or if they deal over 300 damage, they'll break it. For every 100 damage the shield absorbs, you gain 1 ring charge. So this is fueling your mag cannon. So not only does it protect you, it also helps you recharge and prep for your burst damage. The ability works the same way for your allies with the Metal Bulwark. It has a 20 meter cast range, and you're going to know when they're within range because you can see the prompt on them. When you use it, it gives that teammate the 300 health point shield for 2.5 seconds. Same rules apply. Over 300 damage is dealt, it'll break. Every 100 damage absorbed generates 1 ring charge for you. So even though the shield's on someone else, you still get a lot out of it. These are a huge part of Magneto's utility. Shielding your teammate not only keeps them alive, but also helps you build your burst. It's a support move with an offensive payoff for you. But there's a lot of decision making, and your team comp, the enemy team comp, is a really good start. If you have another tank with you, especially an aggressive one like a Hulk, a Thor, Captain America, it's great to use on them because you're going to be holding that front line. They generally go a little bit deeper because like right here, I have the full charge. I bubble my other tank. They're going in, they're taking a lot of heat, but right after I bubble them, I do the combo, primary, mag cannon, primary. That's the 250 damage. And right when I get done with that, that's around the same time the bubble is about to go away. It took damage. So my combo, my rings come right back. So I can primary, mag cannon, primary. That's another 250 damage. So 500 total damage I can get out of this if I time it right. And for the team, I get to deal my 250 initial damage. The diving tank gets some relief. Everyone's winning. And you can loop that the entire time if you have an aggressive tank like that. Because they're going to come back to get health. When they go back out, you can bubble them again. Do your combo. Their shield runs out. You can do the combo again. Just over and over. It's great. It's never a bad thing to use on those diving tanks. But let's say you have a shield tank. It's also good, like an Emma, a Strange. They're going to be with you. They're going to be taking just as much heat as you are. You're both in the thick of it. So it allows you to output more damage. Essentially, it's the same thing with that diving tank. You do your primary, you do your mag cannon combos. If you're healthy, they're taking more damage than you, bubble them for a second. It allows them to get healed. Any damage that they took, you convert into iron rings. So again, it's a win-win. Now, if you're solo tanking, the bubble usage changes a little bit. If it's just you on that front line and you're trying to hold it and hold space, you're going to use it on yourself a lot because, again, you need to hold that space. And one of the key things you're going to be doing is throwing up your shield, the magnetic curtain, which we'll talk about in a second, then bubble. The shield lasts for 1 second, the bubble lasts for 2.5 seconds, so that buys you 3.5 seconds to get some healing from your strategist to get back in the fight. And then you're going to have rings to throw and try to deal damage. And usually with comps like this, you're probably going to have, a Magic, an Iron Fist, Black Panther. So if you see them trying to dive and they're within sight to bubble them, yeah, it could be good. That way they can get their combos off. They're going to take damage so you get some of your rings back. But really it's going to be for you and what's behind you, your strategist, because they need to stay alive. And Vanguards, it's a forgotten art, but really should peel a little bit more for their supports. And Magneto is great at it. If they have a heavy dive, a Spider-Man, a Fist, Black Panther, the Magneto bubbles are an excellent peel. It stops combos right in their tracks. It's one of the best things in the game. For 2.5 seconds, the supports can't be touched. So using a bubble to protect a support is never a bad choice. And also for the self bubble, it's a counter to Wolverine. He grabs you. As soon as you guys hit the ground, you can bubble yourself, try to get away. And then, of course, the bubble for ultimates. Ally or enemy. Say a Jeff is coming to swallow you guys up. You can try to save your Luna from it. You can try to save the Invisible Woman. Same deal with an Iron Man ult. He's right in front of you. It's coming down. You can try to save somebody. Or yourself. Same goes for your team. If a Punisher is going into his ultimate, bubble him. Magic, bubble her. You're giving them a little 2.5 second buffer as they go in, or they're trying to get angles to get downs. And I found that anything that you decide to bubble isn't a waste. It really isn't, because at that time you decided that's where it was needed. You wanted to save yourself from getting pulled by a Bucky, so you block the Bucky hook. Great. Maybe your ally Bucky is in their ultimate. They're going on again streaks, so you bubble him, you protect him. It's a very powerful ability. It's got a ton of play, but be smart on where you use it. Don't just throw it out to throw it out. Metallic Curtain is Magneto's shield. I think it's one of the strongest defense abilities in the entire game when used right. It's your shift, left trigger on controller. Magneto forms a metallic curtain in front of him. While it's active, it blocks all incoming projectiles, giving you and your team cover from ranged attacks, poke, and even ultimates. It's just not a hold it forever kind of shield. It runs on an energy system, so you start with 100 energy. It drains at 65 energy a second. Once you let it go, it takes 1 second before it starts to recharge, and it recovers 11 energy a second. That all said, it has a 3-second cooldown after you use it. So at full energy, the whole shield's up for just over a second. After that, it goes down. You have to wait for it to recharge. You can use it 3 seconds later, but it's only going to stay up momentarily, briefly. So this ability is all about timing. You're going to use it to block key enemy shots, absorb poke while your team pushes, or cut off lines of sight during a retreat. And just like the bubbles, it can block massive attacks. It can absorb Scarlet ults. It can block Eye of Agamotto's. It can block Iron Man ults. Just on the fly. That's what's so cool about Magneto. Even if you just have the split-second shield, the one that's on the 3-second cooldown, it can still work for that. You can use it to stay alive. You can use it to block ults for a second, push, retreat. It shuts down a lot of range pressure and combos when used smartly. So don't think of it as a wall to hide behind. It's more so a parry tool, a parry window to do a clutch save or forcing enemies to reposition. It's a lifesaver for your team. Magneto's team up is Magnetic Resonance. The anchor is Emma Frost. So for Magneto specifically, the ability has some strong side effects. As soon as it activates, Magneto and his illusion both become invisible for 1 second. So that's pretty cool. You can use this to get into position or maybe drop out of aggro for a second. Team up has a 30-second cooldown. Your illusion has 150 health. And this illusion matches your attacks. It'll use Iron Volley or Mag Cannon or even the shield. You can make your shield double in length. The illusion can draw focus from the real Magneto, giving you a little time to reposition, burst someone down, escape pressure, but it's not just a visual gimmick. It can help waste enemy cooldowns, and the illusion can deal damage as well. Only 20%, but it's more damage. As an example, 3 primary attacks is 240 damage. On a 250 health enemy, it won't down them. But if you have the illusion there as well, 3 primary attacks will down them. And keeping in mind, it does what you do. So it'll throw the Mag Cannon shots, though less damage, it's still more damage overall. So when you do match with an Emma Frost, use this thing. It's actually pretty good. Quickly, he does have a slow fall. Most heroes do it. Use it as you see fit. Hold the jump button. Its ultimate ability is Meteor M. It's one of the most high-risk, high-reward ultimates in the game, and it's one of the main reasons why you do see Magneto in a lot of team comps, because when you activate it, Magneto begins pulling in all surrounding materials and enemy projectiles, and he forges a massive iron meteor above his head. Now, this meteor takes 4 seconds to fully charge. During that time, it absorbs enemy projectiles, it builds power up, but you need to know how this all works. The meteor absorbs projectiles within a 15-meter radius of Magneto, so while in the ultimate, you can go up and down. If you get way up in the sky, it's a 15-meter sphere around you. Same goes if you go super low to the ground. Now, it's best, like right after you pop the ult, just go a little bit higher. For every point of projectile damage absorbed, the meteor's power increases by 0.125. It absorbs up to 800 damage, which adds an extra 100 power to the meteor. If you go over that limit though, if it takes too much damage, if it overloads, the meteor self-destructs and the ult's wasted. So timing, awareness, all of that matters. It can just get absolutely shut down if you're not paying attention. But once that meteor is complete, once it's where you want it, Magneto launches it forward at 30 meters a second. It doesn't deal damage on impact. Instead, it creates a huge explosion when it lands. So at this point, as soon as you pop the ult, where your rings were, that's replaced by a counter. It starts at 0. This is your damage scaler and your breakpoint. It goes up to 99 at 100. The meteor shatters, your ultimate's gone. But it's building points of energy, 0 to 99. The more projectiles that it eats up, the higher this number is going to be. You want to throw it before it reaches 100, and when you do throw it, At base, the explosion has a 5-meter radius. If you fully charge it, which again is the full 4 seconds, that turns into an 8-meter radius. The center of the explosion starts at 100 damage, 300 damage when fully charged, and there is damage fall off, 50% for enemies standing outside the edge of the explosion, around 6 meters away from the center. But on top of that base explosion, each point of that energy, that 0 to 100 counter, adds 3 points of damage to the explosion. So if you're fully charged, holding a lot of energy, 60, 70, 80, even 50, the damage is well above 300 in that center zone. So let's say you have 50 energy on your counter, on your meteor bar. You hold it for 4 seconds. So you have the 300 from the full charge and 150 from the projectiles you absorbed. That's just an example. So that's 450 damage. So really, you're trying to absorb as many projectiles as you can to empower the meteor, but also avoid overloading it because you're going to lose the ultimate entirely. But this is a phenomenal tool for enemy support ults. And that's why you see a lot of Magneto. Like right here, it's end of game. It's tied. We're in overtime. We pop a Luna ult, their cloak and dagger gets there, they counter pop with their ultimate. So I tracked her, I ended up letting the timer go because I was building up damage. It went to 37 energy. Regardless, once I dropped it on her, that's 411 total damage. It took her out, we ended up winning the game. But think about that. We still had an ult up, their counter got denied. It can take out Luna in her ultimate, Mantis, all the supports. With Ultron, his missile barrage, Magneto eats all of them up and you can redirect that damage to the enemy. Punisher, now it loads up extremely quick, and if you aren't fast enough and you pop your ult, it'll shatter your meteor almost immediately. But you can pop your ult, absorb for a split second because the counter goes up quick, and throw it down on Punisher. It can absorb Iron Man ults, Hawkeye arrows, it can absorb Star-Lord ults, a ton of them. But it's mostly used to counter supports. It's high risk, but very high reward. It's an incredible ultimate. To come back to the start of the guide, Magneto is flexible. He has so much in his toolkit at any given time. Need to survive? Bubble. You have a shield. Save a teammate from certain death. You can bubble them. Block a Wanda ult with your shield. Block it with your bubble. Take out ults with your ultimate. Counter them. Help a teammate dive. Bubble them. Help a support survive a dive. It goes on and on. At any given moment, he's a zone controlling vanguard. He thrives on pressure, timing, burst windows. He's not a dive tank. He's an anchor, he's on that front line, he punishes bad positioning, and he helps protect his team. So he holds the line. That said, he can push with diving tanks, he can peel to help supports. You are frontline though, mainly. From there, you're holding space with the Iron Volley, your primary, just constant poke, it's pressure. You have the bubbling going on, you're creating high uptime for your Iron Rings, and when those opportunities come up, you play for burst. With that primary, Mag Cannon primary. 250 damage, it can delete squishies, it can knock enemies back, it can burst down tanks if they're getting low. With your bubbles, we talked about it, you're going to use them wisely. The bulwarks aren't just defensive, they charge your Mag Cannon. So you're going to shield teammates before they take damage for a lot of value. You can double up on your damage output because of this. Metallic Curtain, the shield, is a timing tool. Use it to block key projectiles, not just random poke. It blocks Bucky hooks, blocks stuns, Hulk exiles, ultimates, it's great. You're basically playing around your power spikes. When you have that full Mag Cannon, 3 rings, be looking for your target to use it on. When you have your ultimate, you need to know what they have, what supports they have. Do they have a cloak and dagger? Ultron, Loki. What DPS do they have? Punisher, when's that about to come up? Like, be thinking about those things because you're looking to turn fights when they happen. Because that ultimate, it's about patience. Meteor M, you're absorbing projectiles, you're building energy, and you're dropping it on your main target or group targets. Do not let it overload. You have this weird window of trying to aim it, trying to make sure it doesn't pop, and being in a space where you can land max damage on your main target. It's high risk, high reward. And overall, Magneto will reward you if you have smart positioning and cooldown management. You have pressure in the front line, you can punish their mid and back line, you have 25 meters to work with to get off those burst combos, and that's great for a Vanguard, 25 meters. Stay grounded and burst where it counts. He's about control, pressure, and precision. If you manage those cooldowns, time your burst right, make smart use of his shields and zoning tools, he can be dominant in teamfights. And that's what's so cool about him. He's all reliable. He can fit in any team comp. So master his rhythm, and you'll turn him into one of the most reliable and punishing vanguards in the game. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Magneto down below. What are your thoughts on him? And of course, share any tips that you have. Help each other out. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I'm CoolGuy.